Hi, welcome back to another lesson in my functional medicine digital course. If you watched lesson 1, you should have an understanding of the most common root causes of illness. As complex as human health is, the factors that cause dysfunction and disease come down to really just a few things. And this includes nutrient status, our stress, whether that's physical or emotional stress, the toxins or allergens that we're exposed to, the infections that we accumulate throughout life, our environment, and then genetics. Now, not only do we need to be aware of all of the above mentioned causes of disease, but we must become an expert in identifying and treating these causes, beginning with the basics. And the basics of human health come down to what I would consider to be 7 ingredients, or what I like to call the non-negotiables. Behind every good intention, the long range vision, the ultimate goals, the short-term strategies or daily routines that we can do, that is our bottom line. Because here's the deal. If all of our daily goals are negotiable, then they're all disposable. And that really doesn't help us to get anywhere. So we really need to be able to stand on a foundation of the minimum of diet and lifestyle habits that we know are necessary to improve our health. Experience tells me that the biggest obstacle for people is their perception of their circumstances, their perception of time, their perception of their own bodies, their perception of their potential. Anyone can dream up goals, but it's how we weave our intentions into our daily reality that actually matters. So we go through the day perceiving our own intentions to be important, and yet we somehow find a way to negotiate ourselves into disease processes and dysfunction by not actually holding ourselves accountable. This is the reality. Simultaneously, we consciously or unconsciously view others' intentions for us, our time and energy as fixed, non-negotiable. And there's where the process really starts to fall apart. Look, I get it. We all have lives with moving parts. The vast majority of us, including myself, we have jobs that pull us into all sorts of directions, and that eventually spills out into our personal lives. Kids get sick, or maybe the babysitter doesn't come through. Money is tight this month, or it's tight every month, right? It's tight for the entire year. The weather isn't cooperating with your goals of wanting to get out and walk more or exercise. Your car is in the shop. We get low on steam or enthusiasm or motivation. We hit periods of major transition in our lives that are sparked in a moment but drag on for months. But these facts are actually never going to change. Life will always, always, always fluctuate. And if we wait to begin a health commitment until things settle down, we're going to be actually sitting at the curb forever. If we're constantly telling ourselves things like, I'm going to start on Monday, or I'll wait until things settle down for me, I'll wait until the end of summer, I'll wait until school starts, then we are really only getting better at delaying the inevitable. And some of us are just ninja at delaying the inevitable. We've gotten so good at that. Reality dictates that circumstances will encroach upon your time. That's a given. People are going to ask things of you at the last minute. Your energy is going to be depleted before you've gotten to your own priorities. And that is where we decide if it's up to us to let go of X, Y, or Z plan that we had for ourselves. We can, however, choose to draw our own lines in the sand when we feel it's that important. And I'm talking here about a non-negotiable, no matter what rule that you never break, barring the only extreme circumstances, of course. And at the end of the day, no matter how insane, what is the one thing that you can make sure that you're going to do for yourself no matter what? That is a non-negotiable. I have worked hard at setting personal standards of health that I know are important for my own longevity. And I fully admit that I don't get to follow all of my non-negotiables that I'm about to share with you, but I can guarantee you that most of them I do. And some days when things are perfectly aligned, I get them all done. Still, when the shit hits the fan, I will always make sure that I do one, at least one or more of these non-negotiables, because that's the standard that I've set for myself. So here's my list of non-negotiable health practices for optimal human health. And I can almost guarantee that if you start to execute these, you're going to experience the same thing. Number one, eat real food. Number two, optimize for nutrients. Number three, create a healthy living environment. And this is paying attention to the water that you drink, the air that you breathe, the light exposure that you have, the amount of nature that you're saturated in. Develop techniques for deep relaxation and rhythms. This includes sleep rhythms or waking up rhythms, your morning routine, your mid-morning routines and lunch routines and afternoon routines. These are all rhythms that allow us to be in a deep state of relaxation because we know what's coming. Optimize your movement, and this includes mobility, flexibility, and strength. Cultivate compassion, community, and love. Explore and define your meaning and purpose. Now that's it. Like, it's all super easy, right? That's a lot actually to unpack. And honestly, most people can't even follow rule number one, which is eat real food. So let's talk about that. Eat real food. This is such a huge non-negotiable. And I'm convinced that most of the disease and suffering that we experience is because we don't consume real food. Real food is unprocessed and doesn't come from a factory. If you really pay attention to the food products that we eat, you're going to begin to see how deceptive our food has become. Nutrition research has found that more than 60% of the American diet consists of highly processed foods. Foods that have to be taken apart and put back together again in various combinations. And this usually includes a combination of sugar, salt, oil, and additives, even sometimes chlorine. Our food is literally bleached and chlorinated when it's processed. Unless you're growing your own food, it's actually very hard to avoid even minimally processed foods. But again, eat real food. And if you're able to do that or execute it, that's going to be a big first step towards healing your body. Number two, optimize for nutrients. Now, high quality diets prioritize nutrient dense foods over their processed, nutrient poor contemporaries. But some of us have particular deficiencies that we can then focus on. So knowing your nutrient status, and this is done by measuring it, can help you to understand what type of diet or foods you should be focusing on more. Nutrient-dense foods include a high concentration of micronutrients and amino acids that our bodies need, that our bodies are actually desperate for to thrive. Now, our bodies need roughly 40 different micronutrients to function normally, and the only way that we can get them is through the food that we eat. Some of the foods with the highest nutrient density include things like organ meats, herbs and spices, nuts and seeds, fish and seafood, beef, lamb, veal, wild game, vegetables, eggs, and dairy. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. Some of us can consume the above mentioned foods no problem, whereas others have intolerances or an inability to digest certain foods. And this could be because of a dysfunction, or it could be because of their genetics. And this is why it's important to eat a diet that is personalized to you, but one that still focuses on nutrient density. So whether you're eating plants or animals, nuts, seeds, beans, or legumes, or blood sausage, do your best to focus on those foods that have higher levels of nutrients that you as an individual need, as opposed to nutritionally depleted foods. Number three, create a healthy living environment. Creating a healthy home and a restorative living environment is one of the most rewarding things that you can do for your lifelong well-being and happiness. Every room in your household can either serve the purpose of enhancing your mental and physical health, whether you're looking to improve your sleep habits or if you're looking to adopt a healthier way of eating. Improving our environment begins with the air quality. The EPA has actually repeatedly found that indoor air quality in most homes is actually worse than outdoor air quality. So if you don't have any control over the types of materials that your house contains, the carpets or the fabrics or the fibers that are gassing off chemicals, then consider air purifiers or use natural cleaners and detergents, and try to add plants that we know can help to improve air quality. Number 4, deep relaxation and rhythms. A consistent lack of sleep can lead to chronic disease and other problems. Sadly, sleep disturbance has actually become all too common in our stressed out, super busy, hyper-caffeinated modern world. Among the numerous responsibilities we juggle daily, quality sleep often takes the back burner, and those repercussions show up in our health and around our waistlines. Inadequate sleep can quickly sabotage your efforts at getting healthy and losing weight. Sleep is a major cornerstone for an energetic, joyful, healthy life. Not getting enough sleep or getting poor quality sleep adversely affects hormones that then make you hungry, and that's going to contribute to more fat storage. It's going to contribute to you not getting out and moving as much. So sleep ultimately has these major downstream impact factors that are really just going to obliterate your health goals. Now, a few things to consider when it comes to improve relaxation and sleep is to get on a regular schedule, or be consistent with the time that you go to bed and the time that you wake up. Be consistent with the things that you do in your life. And this is known as biological rhythms, creating rhythms for yourself, or routines. So make sure that you're getting enough sunlight during the day, and incorporate deep breathing or meditation practices into your daily routines. Number 5, optimize movement. You'll almost never find me in a gym or a fitness center, but that doesn't mean that I'm not getting all the benefits, the amazing benefits of regular exercise and general physical movement. There are many ways to get out and play. Moving your body and working your muscles and strengthening that mind-body connection is so extremely important to your optimal well-being. Personally, I love running and I love going for walks in the woods and hiking. I'll run about 3 days a week, and that's usually 3 to 3.5 miles at a time. I lift weights 2 to 3 days a week, and I do flexibility and mobility training almost every day. Now, that's what works for me. And when it comes to physical activity, the amount that you need to be doing really depends on your personal fitness level. So either way, the idea is to make sure that you're moving your body and getting movement as a nutrient for your health. Number 6, cultivate compassion, community, and love. When people come together, they can create real, lasting change for not only themselves, but their community. We all know that the pandemic resulted in a lot more isolation and loneliness, and we need to be vigilant in supporting community to cultivate our own health as much as possible. And this can include things like eating with others, volunteering, or taking up a group class, whether it's with your friends or people you don't know. And as hard as it seems, we all need to be prioritizing spending time with loved ones. There are so many moments when my 9-year-old son asks me to go and play with him, and I'll tell myself in my head that I don't have the time to do that. And more often than not, I don't, but I will stop what I'm doing to spend time with him, and it's 100% gratifying. And I've gotten so used to that happening that now I can just see that those moments of actually taking a break end up doing more good for me than if I didn't walk away for a while. So give yourself permission to cultivate compassion and community and love. Number 7, explore your meaning and purpose. Finally, a life of meaning and purpose, a life in balance with connection, community, love, support, and a sense of empowerment are all essential for health. Even with all the knowledge and tools to become healthier, happier individuals, it is often our mindset and daily practices that will be the strongest guiding force to carry us through our health journey. The key to changing habits is to understand how change really occurs. And for the most part, it occurs by design. It doesn't just occur by accident or by wishful thinking. You have to intentionally change it. It occurs by transforming the unconscious choices that we make every day, shifting them so that the automatic, easy default choices become the healthy choices, not the deadly ones. So at first, something's going to be very difficult, but you keep doing it and you keep plugging it in and you keep executing, and eventually it becomes subconscious. It would be nice if we were all born with, perfect nothing to work on, right? Everything is just great. But that's not how we're designed as humans. All of us get stuck in thought patterns that, if left unchecked, can cause very unhappy circumstances. Today's overwhelming stresses, including social isolation, overwork, political tension, and disempowerment, it all creates enormous strain on our nervous system, leading to burnout and breakdown. So always check in with yourself and ask, why am I here? Why are you here? What is your calling? Are you doing what you believe you should be doing because that's your purpose? Understanding our purpose and sharing our unique gifts allow us to unleash our creative energy that embrace our quirks and tap into joyful living. In the next lesson, we're going to combine our understanding of the root causes of disease and the absence of the non-negotiables, and how that combination contributes to the physiological webs of disease. I'll see you there.